Laura, hey. And Hammy, how are y'all doing? Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Cannot complain. Cannot complain. We got this stream manager on. Good. Got it. Setting everything up here. This camera is the strangest thing. I don't know. Half the time it bugs out, half the time it doesn't. I restarted the computer. I don't know why it happens. Can't figure it out. Cannot figure it out. Okay. Here we go. Still getting some paints out. I forgot to get some of the paints. Palette's a little bit unorganized because I have a lot of colors here. Normally I'm better at organizing it. So I need to set up a system for this particular painting. Yes. All right. Let's get some good work done on this today. All right. This. What's up, Qualdar? What's happening, buddy? Colored mushrooms. Purple. Orange. There you go. Right. All right. This painting has the potential to be good, but it could be bad too. I don't know. This is going to be something else. This is going to be interesting. Let's put it that way. It's here. Organizing my colors. Organized palette, organized painting. Should put these up top for now. So what does that come out to? This would be, let's bring this down. I don't know what this would be good for. Maybe up top. I'll put the green up there for now. Okay. Do this. What color is this? Oop, I forgot something. This. What's up? How's it going? All good? Streaming, by the way, here. Say hi to everybody.
I can't say bad words.
You can say whatever you want. Is it cold? Is it cold? Yeah. Thanks, Quellar. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that shapes are kind of. Yeah. I don't know how long this is going to be, honestly. I don't know. It can be longer than yesterday. Yesterday I had to run pretty fast. I only had an hour. I think I streamed an hour. This one might go on for 2, maybe 3. I don't know. Laura says hi.
Hi.
I'll get that for you. Give me a sec. Let's do this thing. I'm trying to figure out my colors. Ah. So disgusting. I have a creature over here. All right, let me help Rose with her easel really quick. The man needs to help the puny woman with easel.
You said I was a woman.
You're right.
Don't
Come here.
misgender me. No,
Look
watch
at
out,
this.
watch out, watch out. It
What?
might fall. It might fall. It might fall.
Let go. Look.
It will fall.
I know it's
Go
not
ahead
gonna
and
fall.
take care of it.
I know
Then
it's
you
not
can
gonna
do
fall.
your weird thing.
I know it's not gonna fall. Go. See? Totally fine. It's stuck in there, you see? Now come over here. Laura, if you know how to do a poll, because we have so many people watching, see? Let's see if what gender this creature is right here. Okay? This is what awaits when we open the dark doors of the studio.
Welcome everybody to Love Line with Dr.
So you're standing today. You're up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. I might change my mind.
Do me a favor, just hold this like this when it goes up. Do you see what I'm saying? This is the most redneck, stupid ass setup ever, and I'm glad that. Oh, son of a bitch! And my brushes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't need that cardboard.
You know why you need it?
No, I don't need it.
Because I don't remember why you need it either.
Yeah, it doesn't do shit.
Yeah, you're right. Why do we have this?
I don't know. You did that.
That was pretty stupid.
Yeah. Okay, I have
Do you want to do something with this?
Yeah.
Can you put it over there? Even your motions are just exude laziness. What's your problem?
It's warm outside.
It's warm outside.
That's my problem.
Okay. You almost killed yourself taking apart a closet. Quadarius. All right. Okay. Well, what was in there? Got that? You know how you move? This is how you move. Look. And then, like, to throw the cardboard, you're like,
Why are your Bob Ross brushes on my table?
I don't have Bob Ross brushes.
Bob Ross.
The creature. All right. Now that I still have not organized my palette. Or mixed my secondary color up here, top. There we go. So, how is everybody doing today? Huh? Are we all feeling good? I'm not asking you. We all know how you feel. The second you came in. Val, what's up? Lewith. Ah, good sir. How's it going? Wait, you're 6'3"? You're not 6'3", Queller. Screw you. Are you 6'3"? Are you really 6'3"? He's not 6'3". He can't. Shut up. Now, those closets can be dangerous. You're really 6'3". Lewith, which I think is. Hey, Rose, double check. What's 188 centimeters? Go.
How would I know?
Look on your
Probably
phone.
like 6 something.
You can't be taller than me. You can't be taller.
You're not that tall. Luke.
Shut up.
188.
Yeah.
That's 74 point. That's 74 inches.
74. That's 6'2", you idiot. Still taller than me.
Yeah, you're like 5'9".
How tall I am? Am I?
5'9".
I'm not 5'9". I think I'm 6 feet.
You're 5'9".
I think I'm 6 feet.
Hold on. Where's the tape measure? Where's the tape measure? Here it is.
It's not long enough.
We'll make it work.
That's not long enough.
We'll make it work. Here. Step on it.
It's not going to work.
Step on it. This is 60 inches is how many feet?
This is stupid.
No, stop moving!
Rose, you're
You
an
don't
idiot.
have another
You know
one.
why you're an idiot? Yeah, I
You
do.
don't have another one.
Yes, I do. And you know it.
Where?
You know it.
Where?
In there.
Get it out. Yeah.
You shut up. It was over here. Wait. It's in here. That one's what we just learned was that tape measure, which was 6 feet tall, was not.
No, okay.
No.
We're gonna do the math on this one.
No, you can't do math, and nobody in here can do math either. Give me a second. This is stupid. I have a tape measure. Hell? Where is it? What'd you do? You did something with it. You know, everything's distracting me. Val, if they nerf paladins, what?
60 inches is 5 feet. So let's do this again.
60 inches is 5 feet.
Yeah, so step on it. Okay, that's good. So
Right there.
alright, stand straight.
Oh!
Stand straight. Stand straight.
This is how you're measured.
You are wait, hold on, shit, I need to
Damn
flip
right. You're not tall enough
it.
to
No,
check.
Stop.
To you, it looks like a mountain. And how do you judge the peak when you're a midget?
Stand straight, dumbass. You are 5'12". So 6 foot.
I agree with that.
You're still short.
How tall are you? You want to measure you?
I'm
With the
5'7".
entire tape thing, we just need to do one measurement with this. We don't need to double it up. You are such a retard.
5 feet.
To the nose. All right. Okay.
5'7".
Don't you know the Dutch are the tallest race in the world? Are you?
No, the Norwegians are.
I think he's kidding, but I can't tell sarcasm anymore. Boys, boys, boys. You're both pretty G's. Seems relative distance to the sun, I'd say. Val, there's so many that's what she said jokes that just happened within the last 60 seconds. I don't doubt that. That's why, you know what? Can you see me? That's why I did this when she got the tape measure out. See? We're not going to get any painting done. I can already tell. 1 inch doesn't really matter in height. I see what you did. I hope he spends the rest of the stream on this. He's upset because if we ever meet, my eyes will be slightly downcast towards him. Good Lord, Lewis. Does it really matter who is taller? No, I was just getting measured. I just want it to be accurate because I always get screwed. I'm a victim. This is why I can keep coming here. There we go. Okay. Val, if they nerf the Paladin, screw Peekaboo and Zaryu on a more serious note, okay? Because he was dipping down 500, 600 rating to play and then saying, look how we're just tearing them up. What a fucking idiot. You know what I'm talking about, right? Alizarin Crimson, or Alezzarini cremisi, as they say in the mother country, Italia.
Check the paper towel.
I did not take your paper towel. And since we're on that, who buys the paper towels if you want to go there? Here. Put it over there, we can share. I got a new one out. Cash. Did that hit your face, seriously? Oh, I'm sorry. Do they really? What else happened?
I just feel like I keep getting hit in the nose.
Who else hit you?
Nobody. I keep hitting myself.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no. Okay. Ugh. Guys, give me a second. I need to shoot out a text because my model canceled for tonight. Sorry, I am going to paint. I know. I need to now do a lot of text. This is hard. No worries. Thanks for letting me know. Can you do next week? Okay. I have 2 hours to find a model. Can't model. Give me a sec, guys. Lily, cat. Submit. Cancellation. Here, can you talk for a second while I write this stuff down? There we go.
What do I talk about?
Chat is just flying up, it's like blowing up. Okay.
Alright, well, I need this attached because I need to work while I do this. Alright, it's gonna get attached to my ghetto chain. There we go.
Ghetto chain?
Where's the chat?
That's the chat right there. So Rose is taking care of Bill for a second.
What even is Dutch? And where do they live? I don't think Dutch exists. Dutch people? Not a real thing. Is it Dutchland? Is that a thing? I can't see the chat because I'm very far away right now. Putting colors on my palette, and I hate it. I hate colors. I hate mixing colors. I hate putting colors on and see, I would like painting if I didn't have to mix colors or put colors on and off my palette. That's the worst part about painting. It takes forever to do versus drawing. You just go up and grab a pencil and scratch away at the paper. I don't even know what half of these colors I made are. I'm using what is really weird in between color? I'll just put that there. I'm using the same colors for 3 different parts of this painting that I'm doing. It's funny how that works. I wonder if I can get away with it without making everything look so monotone. Also, I made the skin colors way too warm. So the character in my painting, who is not of Hispanic descent, looks Mexican. It's interesting how these things play out. Someone wrote Belgium and Netherlands. What does that mean?
Belgium, those are the countries. The Netherlands is like a...
The countries where what? The Dutch are from?
Yeah, Dutch. It's Dutch,
So,
considered Dutch people.
Dutch people don't have their own place.
Talk to Queller. I like... This is the most ghetto way to wear your mic on this ghetto chain. that
My
works.
pimp chain. Is this even turned the right way?
No,
Oh,
it's not.
there we
You
go.
don't even have the right way.
They're Germanic. Well, why don't we just call them Germans? Because they don't have their own land. Why are they called the Dutch?
Duh.
Dutchland? There's no Dutchland, apparently. The Dutch is the retarded English way of calling my countrymen. We don't call ourselves that way, obviously. Because they're not from Germany. Well, technically everybody's Germanic, if you want to go all the way back in history. Or not everybody, but the majority of Europe is Germanic. But I don't know. I think it's weird. What do the Dutch speak in? What language? Dutch? Is Dutch a language? Sorry, I'm such an asshole. I don't mean to be an asshole. I'm also just like geographically limited. It's just a way to confuse people. The names never made any sense. Cool. Yeah, this actually kind of makes me think, and it's really funny how
Is it hurting you?
a lot of people say that Euro-descended people, white people, have like no culture, that they're all the same, blah, blah, blah. But that's like saying everybody in Africa is the same. But like Africa has a bunch of different countries with different traditions. And they would be super offended if you say that. It's kind of the same with Europeans. Like, I do not like English people whatsoever because I'm from a very dense Irish heritage. And there's cultural aspects that reside in my family with that. And of course, Lewis comes from half Italian. He has some cultural, his family has some cultural Italian aspects to his family. It's just funny how that works. Hollandaise.
A lot of text. This is what happens when...
I like eggs Benedict. Eggs Benedict with Hollandaise sauce.
Is it?
Yeah, it's good. Especially eggs Benedict with crab. I should make eggs Benedict. Now I'm hungry.
You're always hungry.
Okay. Well, back to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
I don't know how to get this off. How dare you not care for Hollandaise? You messed up my chain.
I messed up your chain.
I'm trying to look like the kids these days. All cool and hip.
Which kids?
The youths.
Really?
The youths.
Did you manage to shower this morning?
I did. I worked out too.
Good. Did you work out before or after you showered?
Before.
Good. Good. Just checking.
Took me 2 hours to shower though, because that was a lot of scrubbing.
Right. That makes sense. I can see that. I
Yeah.
can see that. Good. All right. Well, as you can tell, you might not be able to tell actually, but she is clean. It is clean. I'm not sure we put a poll up yet of whether or not we have decided what gender this thing is. However, it is clean. Allegedly.
My nose in the monitor. That nose. I feel like my nose just keeps getting bigger.
Well, you know, you have this fascination with your nose. What are you doing? Oh, she's looking at herself in the screen like 3-year-olds do, which is actually a lot of fun.
Also, I have that. Never mind. I'm not going to talk about myself. That's narcissistic.
That's what having a Twitch channel is all about.
Narcissism.
Narcissism.
Narcissism at its finest.
I don't care for Hollanders, okay? Hammy, that is very selfish of you.
Hollandaise or
Compassion.
Hollandaise?
Huh?
Ask if it's Hollandaise or Hollandaise.
Is it Hollandaise or Hollandas? Or Hollandaise? Hauling ass. Val, are you still there? Where are you, Val? This is why when we have model cancellations, all hell breaks loose. And I don't get work done. Portrait evening, if that would make it a little easier. Hell, I could model for it. I've done it before when my models haven't shown up. I don't really want to do a portrait.
It's better than nothing.
Oh, I want naked people! Ask David if he wants to pose nude.
Are you serious?
No, seriously, he might
I
actually.
don't want
be
to see
interested.
David naked. I don't want to see him naked.
It's
And
better
normally
than
I'm
nothing.
no. It's not better than nothing. Nothing's better than that. Okay?
Nothing's better than that.
Yes, I don't want to see David nude. I don't want to look at him, picture him in his beauty mask, naked, you know, looking like an amorphous blob. Okay? I don't want to do that. David's one of our good friends. It just normally I'd be fine, but recently he's been acting weird as shit.
Yeah, if you get him to pose naked, maybe it'll help.
No, that will not help. That will make things a billion times worse. Okay. That's the attitude.
Why did I decide to do an organ? Why, Rose? Why did you do this to yourself?
Rose always starts projects and she's like the poster child of enthusiasm for half of a day. And then maybe a day, and then like
I'm very
it goes downhill.
enthusiastic about my projects. And then it gets hard and then I just start to get sad. But I'm so enthusiastic.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's pretty funny though.
Oh, shit.
This is what painting is. It's just essentially people working and regretting what they've done the whole time. Yep, that's how it is, man.
It's like also super hard to have a steady hand after I drink so much caffeine.
Did you drink a lot of caffeine this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it. Definitely. Let's bring this darker. you do? I think it's looking good. I think, it's just working on it, that's it. I think you're doing a good job. All right. So we're going to get this going. Oh, that's what I wanted. There's a lot of colors with this, obviously. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to work everything up. Especially there's a lot of colors when you keep on getting texts about the model class. And
Did you text Kat?
I did text Kat, but she just does not respond. She just is not good at responding. You know who is Lily is very good.
Did she respond?
She did respond, but unfortunately she can't. Yes, she can't make it tonight. Not because of the brain surgery. Whoops. Not because of the brain surgery, but just because. I'm going with Indian red on this. I haven't been using the cadmium red that much recently, but just because I had Indian red out here, so I just continued using it. But it's working. I mean, this is all Indian red is going to work for this painting. It's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, that was aggressive.
I tripped. I fell backwards. Rose is very easily intimidated. Let's do this.
Maybe you could get back in with Sterling.
I am not getting in touch with her.
Oh,
We know so many
text
weird
Scott
people.
or Susan.
Scott or Sue?
Yeah.
Ask them for models.
Yeah, text them right now. They have models.
Maybe I'll say, hey, Scott, you want to pose nude for us?
Yeah, text Susan. Susan would be the one to know.
No, I'll ask Scott if he wants to pose nude for us.
No, text Susan right now.
You're right. I'll text Susan and ask if Scott's able.
Text Susan right now.
Why don't you text? You always text
Because
them.
I'm not going tonight.
Just say, hey, look, Lewis has him.
You know what? I'm just going to let you.
The reason why, I'll do it, but I need to get some work done.
Yeah, but you only have a few hours.
You're right, I do. Let me just paint a little bit, then I'll get back to it.
You could get it done now and then not have to worry about it later.
Oh my God. I know you're right. I know you're right.
Do it.
I just want to paint just a little bit. Just let me get a couple brush strokes here. I need this. This is my therapy, okay? Connor, maybe we'll find out today. Don't know about you guys, but I want to know what the color of the roof is going to be. Which roof?
Your roof.
On this? I didn't know you were talking about this roof. And Laura's like, maybe not, because Lewis isn't listening to us. He never listens. Laura, I know that's what you're like, okay? You're like that. Yeah, the color of this roof, it's going to be, I forgot I didn't have a picture up for you guys. It's going to be, I'll show you. See? It's going to be roughly something like this. Look how lazy the setup is. Like I have that, and then this is horrible. Okay, so that's going to be it. Does that answer your question? Are you happy? Okay, thanks. No, thank you, I guess. Sorry, I didn't know. I forget that I didn't have that image up. So yeah, it's kind of like, what the hell is he doing? the tricky thing about painting with this charcoal, the style I'm doing, is that the charcoal comes off so easily. So I can pretty much take, you see, look at this, I can take the charcoal off without putting down paint. Isn't that crazy? And so when I put the paint down, I have to freaking know what I'm doing, which of course I do, so it's easy for me. But for you idiots out there who don't know how to paint, I have a lot of sympathy for you, compassion. All right? So I'm just pointing that out there. I'm educating at the same time as essentially just I'm educating you, right? Because I care about each and every one of you individuals. And so what this is here. And then it's the beam. That's the beam. So I'm also redrawing. Like I'm not just blindly filling in everything. I'm actually trying to correct the drawing as I go. That's one of the keys. Okay, I'm back. I'm here for Lewis, emotional support. Thank you. That's Val. He knows that I need it. He knows. He knows that I need it. He's like, I'm here to support you emotionally. Like, what guy says that? But, I'm man enough. I'll take it. Thank you, Val. I do appreciate that. Val, I was telling you, I really hope that they do not nerf the Paladin because of these buttholes who are being pussies. They're good for literally one day, and the entire game implodes upon itself. Peekaboo's playing. They were playing at 16 to 1800 rating. He's with guys who are ranked 2200 who have probably themselves dropped their rank. These are rank 1 players.
How do you get people to watch your stream? It's weird.
I know. I don't understand it either. I agree 100%. It's stupid. And he puts out a video on it, essentially with the narrative that it's OP, which it is, but it's not that OP. It's not any more than Hunters or anything like that. I'm such a child. Such a damn child. I don't care. Don't care. It's definitely not Dutch or Deutsch, as you guys say. I'm picking up where Rose and her insensitivity and her uncultured, uncouth nature left off, right? No, in the midst of that, she asked me how I get people to watch my stream. I said, I don't know. I do not understand. Okay, let's get paint the roof in. It's nerd. You know what? You act like you never played that game. You act like you never played that game. You were such a butthole, Queldar. You act like you never played. He did play, by the way.
Play what?
Warcraft. He used to play Warcraft.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend I never played that too. It's such a stupid game.
You know what? Screw you. It is a stupid game. It's fun though.
This is a horrible brush. I don't use this brush.
So I'm trying to think of the drawing when I go through this. Like, I'm really trying to correct everything. I'm trying to not just fill everything in. I'm doing my best to get the the shots fired there. Good job. Yeah, you got me. You got me. There we go. Sorry. You okay? All right, so I'm essentially just mixing some white and some orange together, just a lighter light, so I can push the value range, the light value range, just a little bit more than I know on my palette. And then from there, I'm going to work into the roof. So I'm trying to establish a solid value range from the start. I'm doing a lot of mixing with my brushes right now, and the reason why I'm doing a lot of mixing with my brushes and not actually mixing the colors up like with the palette knife is that there's so much of a range of values that I would have so many piles of paint on, and at this point I think it's just easier for me to mix the individual colors, right? That's kind of where I'm going with this. So so I'm just like, as you can tell, I'm trying to my best to really take my time with this, and maybe what I have to be careful of is making everything too light, because it's going to be harder to bring it down. For me, at least, I think I have a little bit of a harder time. So I need to make sure that I'm not painting too light with this stuff. And that's the key. And it's what's difficult is that when you don't have everything established, right? You're like, once you fill everything in, sometimes you notice that it's too light, because then you can compare. Whereas right now, this is kind of a neutral to a light. Like, this is more on the lighter side as opposed to the darker side. And so anything I put down is going to tend to look a little bit darker than it actually is. And so that when it's covered, it might not be the case. And that's one of the things, the issues that I need to be careful with. So it would be prudent to lower the values like a couple notches down more than I think it should. And I think too, to speed this up some, I might start putting some values down or colors down where I also see them in other areas just a little bit. And I am kind of trying to enrich them a little bit more than I normally would. This painting for me is going to be tricky because I haven't really done anything like this before, but I think that if I take my time and just apply my knowledge of painting, a lot of it should translate out pretty well with this. But this is still going to be a learning experience for me, which is a good thing. It's good. It's good to push yourself with this stuff. Did you use a reference for the color study, or you winging it to some extent? So this, yeah, there is a reference, but it's on a cloudy day and it's taken in the middle of the street, and there were no trees or leaves on the trees, and so that's obviously a mock-up in Photoshop. What I did with the buildings in Photoshop, I did the dust and scratches effect, but very minimal amount, so it kind of blurred, took out some of the texture behind it, and then I also enhanced the, I messed with the saturation. I increased the saturation a little bit, and also messed with the color temperature. So it's not like, and I did that obviously to present a warm, sunny, like a sunnier day, right? Not necessarily warm because the leaves are, it's fall and such, but so this painting is going to be a challenge because I couldn't do this on scene. I couldn't do it on scene because it's literally right in the middle of the road. I couldn't do it. What I wanted to do was have a shot of these houses right here, and I would be standing over there, okay, on the other side of the street over here, looking, and I was going to be painting it from real life, and I wanted actually to have, film myself doing it, but my sister didn't want that scene, and that's okay, right? It's just it was a different view, and maybe at some point I can show you all the mock-up that I did for that. So, this whole process from concept to mock-up to final is quite interesting. Might be an idea for a video so you can share the problems you solved along the way. Yeah, that's a good point if I pull it off, right? Because this isn't, yeah, you're right. I think that would be good. I just, this one's a little bit difficult. There's challenges with this for me. But if I pull it off, definitely, yeah. I think it's, you're absolutely right. You know. See, Old Salem is where the is a, obviously it's very old. It's Old Salem, Old Winston-Salem, and the colonialists, why can't I say that word? Colonials.
Yeah.
Right. Lived there, you see. They were pilgrims. I'm sure they had to fight off Indians, technically. That is incorrect. This right here. Okay. Anyway, it's a really fascinating place. I love it, and it's especially nice around Halloween time, I find. It really is. See, Rose's dad is a historian, and so Rose thinks she is one too, and she's constantly correcting. I'm just kidding. She does know her history.
When I get my doctorate in art history, suck it.
Yeah, she's actually working for your doctorate. Is that where you're going to be a doctor in art history? Is that what you're going to do?
I'm working for a master's.
Working for a master's? Okay. So she was working for a master's in art history. LOL. I'm just kidding. She also, when she paints, she sounds like me. You can hear her cursing every once in a while. This comes down here. Just like that. It should be up there. Not that low. What? Rose is apparently having a breakdown now for something. I'm not watching what she's back. Also for emotional support is needed. Yeah, talking about you.
Huh.
What happened?
The angle of the pipes looks completely off.
You know why? Because the whole thing is crooked. Look at it.
How? What?
Look. Let me show you something. This is what
I see.
You see it? You damn right you see it. You see my
I
eye.
don't know how to fix that.
My eyes are honed. Lethal weapons of angles. Don't do that.
You did it.
You did. Yeah.
Still doesn't fix anything.
That's about to fall.
I'm fix it.
I'm not your bitch. You fix it. All you have to do is put your palette down, wiggle that little thing down, press it down.
I don't know how to fix my mistakes.
Look at these little guns.
Don't touch me.
Look at those guns. Unbelievable. Some people.
I'm looking at it.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's not.
That's a very retarded brush stroke I did. I'm being so stupid right now. That's okay. We'll pass it, we bounce back. That's what we do. Right. And then do this. Squint. So I have the reference photo as well, like the real life one, so I'm just flipping back and forth between the two to kind of just get an idea of how dark or light something is. That really does help me. that's about what I'm doing. You okay? Do you need help? I'll help you. You got it? Okay. Good. Good job. Dad, damn it. I really don't want to do a portrait. What? Yes, Crane. No worries. Model. Crane. Paste. Shoot, that's not it. There we go. All right, there we go.
Did you find them all?
No. I was just saying that. I don't know why I was saying that.
Hi, Cheesy. Pikachu.
I've been watching Pikachu.
Huh?
What made you say that?
Because I picked up a brush.
Oh, you did?
It's like you're choosing the brush.
Very funny. So that stays there. This goes over. Where was it? That's the side. This is where it goes up, right? Yeah. That's it. That's the side. Okay. That's the roof. And then let's put some of this color over that way. All right, so we're trying to get the values, right? Light and dark values, that's what we're going for here. Light and dark values. Yes. Light and dark values. So loud. this. It's kind of a little bit of a new process for me, the way that I've gone about this one in particular. Not sure if that's good or bad, but it is what it is. Oh, good.
Good model?
Crane, yeah. Excellent. You can call or text when you get here. Okay, there we go. Send. Okay. No worries. Okay, Terry got a model. Terry got a model. Okay. There we go. We got one. So went to the art store with my daughter. Oh yeah. You went the other yesterday or the day before. Lauda spent quite a bit of money. Well, $100 really isn't that much for an art store if you're going like. Yeah. Okay. This. Got that. Good. There we go. Bless you. How's that coming? Meh. Right, alright. This stuff color would have been dangerous, but I just got stuff because it would have felt silly to not buy anything. It would have been dangerous. Louder going into an art store is what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much in painting. There really is so much in painting to keep an eye out for. It's just so much. It's so stupid. It's a lot, man. It is something else. Mixing my black, ivory black, Indian red, and alizarin crimson. And sometimes, even if I don't use it on the actual painting, I'll put something that's darker on my palette to establish my value range on my palette. So at least when I'm mixing colors, I can look on my palette, look at the darkest dark, look at the lightest light, and more accurately mix with my brush or the palette knife with a mid-tone. This is Laura. Clara, what's up? How's it going? You doing all right? Surviving, and thriving, I guess. Good. $79. Yeah, it feels good outside here too. I'm very, very pleased about this. Cigar weather. I'm really trying to focus on the drawing with this. Really trying to focus on the drawing. That's the main thing. You want to always be using your head with this type of stuff. And again, this is going to be a little bit, this is different. This is a tricky painting because it's not off real life. This is going to be a little bit trickier. Hey Siri, text message Jonathan.
What do you want to say to Jonathan?
Karain.
It says, Karain. Send it.
Send.
Done.
Sleep. Uma. Rose's work is looking good. I hear her mumbling to herself and cursing, which means she's on the right track. Shit. You know what I think? I feel like we need to have somebody burp you before you come in here.
This is such an unflattering position for the organ, too.
You think so? You don't like it? Well, you can change it if you want. You don't think you can?
I mean, unless I had two different light sources, but then that fucks up everything else.
Right. Yeah, I see that. What happened? So I'm going to have, some things are going to be grayed out, which I'm trying not to do too much, but I also don't want to spend all the time in the world yet trying to get all the colors. And maybe that's something I should start pushing myself to do, though. Maybe I'll go over some of these midtones that get obviously grayed out, like up in here, with a little bit more color. I think that would be prudent. It's a word I was looking for there. This is from further back, all the way back, all the way back. So it has to work. The feel of the painting has to be there. So the house in itself, right, I'm trying to work the value ranges up. The dark is dark. This light area, which I can always push a little bit more. And this is going to be the stone down below, but I'm going to start sculpting some of the stones out with lights. Such. So I'm essentially going for the darker color right there, and then I can also push it dark with a smaller brush, like in between the cracks when I need to, but trying to get the overall impression. Really the drawing, like the geometry of everything, make sure the perspective works. Those are my main concerns, right? So like putting these lines in the house in, I can put them in, but the main thing to keep in mind is that it has to keep flow with the perspective, right? So this line, for example, this bottom one I put in, I almost put it in almost straight across, which is going up like that, and then this one's actually going down. So, but it's very slight because, you know, it's a small part of the overall, like of the distance going back. It's this, you know, it's a small part. So sometimes there's like subtle shifts going down. You have to keep that in mind. Hey, thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. And I'm enjoying just reading y'all's conversation. I've been thinking about this. Normally, I'll try to articulate what I'm doing. With this, like I said, I'm not used to doing cityscapes. I'm not if I'm being totally honest with y'all, I'm not really into it. But I'm finding things to keep me interested while I paint, so it doesn't look like I'm not interested. But this isn't something that I really, really enjoy doing. And so a lot of it's me just contemplating, like really trying to focus. Since I haven't done this before, I don't have the experience to rest upon. So I think that's making it so I'm not speaking as much, but make a little bit more effort to articulate what I'm doing. Like essentially, it's all about the drawing, and this is a creative piece as well, which kind of complicates it a little bit, because I have to, you know, there's some alterations that I can make, but I need to be careful that it still makes sense with the geometry and everything else. And it's also I want it painted in a certain way that I'm not used to painting, right? And Mark Boge's work is very beautiful, and I'd like to aspire to do something like that. But the way that I understand how to do this right now, I'm essentially blocking these values, trying to get the drawing correct. But then I'm going to have to break it down in a technique, in a manner which maintains the drawing, creates a certain effect on a large scale, because this is a relatively large painting. So this is actually a lot of work, even though it is coming together, but this is a lot of work. That's not a complaint, but this type of stuff, for me, is going to take me a little bit of time to do because of that. Once I drop in the light, yeah, I think once I like, the details go a long way, and then once you start putting character into everything and pushing the light, you know, and like bring some areas down, others up, and there's a lot you can do. But stuff like this is pretty in depth, you know. I like it. I think I'll do a good job with this. I think I'm gonna like how it turns out, right? But we'll have to see. So right now I'm doing a combination of greens and reds. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to build the trees up from there. So this is the underpainting. So sometimes the underpainting might be showing through, and other times it might not be. But if you look at lots of paintings, like Bouguereau was very good at doing this. If you look, it was almost like there was an underlayer of painting and such that went on that kind of gives it the depth that we like in it without really, sometimes we might not notice that right off the bat, which is really good. Like, I've seen this technique several times. Right, several times, and so. But so you have to make sure that you don't muddy the painting when you do this, because red and green are opposites. So I'm painting it on very thick, and I'm trying to really think. For example, right now, if I go into this, and you know, like, I'm being careful not to gray it out too much, or in this case, make it look too brown. But I think that's looking okay. So you're essentially setting the table for what you're going to do next. That's my goal with this. You're always setting the table. You're always trying to use your head, think a couple steps ahead and such. And that's the strategy I like to use. So, because I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next over this. I'm thinking about next time I paint on this, what type of brush stroke do I want to be painting over? Do I want to be painting over a giant dried clump of paint? No. That's annoying, right? So I'm trying to make it very thin and just cover everything up and get the light impression, make the building pop. So when I squint down right now, right, I want it to have some sort of impression. The color and everything is going to come. The texture I think I can get. I would like to work on the texture and the color a little bit before, but I'm not so experienced with doing this type of building. And frankly, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Give me a second. See, that's the other thing. Like in real life, I can go and walk around and look at things. This I can't, and that's an issue with me right now. So, it's okay, and a lot of us, we go off photographs, and it is easier in the sense that it's not moving. It's very convenient. Obviously, I can't stand in the street for this, right, to paint this one, get run over. But the downside is, like, I find it actually easier going out on spot and painting because there's no question what I'm painting. I've had to walk up to things before and just look, right? What's the story on the reference? So my sister just wanted a painting of Winston-Salem that's representative of Winston-Salem, and a very iconic place is Old Salem, is the colonial village we have. It's been untouched for several millennia, where the people who live there, in fact, don't know that time has really changed. It's, in a sense, they're complete. They don't have iPhones or anything, but they do have electricity, though they don't know how they got it. So it's one of the 9 wonders of the world, really, if you will. And so that's the story behind it. And she wanted the buildings in the background too, which they don't quite understand how those got erected either. But that right there, and I'm not kidding about this, is called the penis building because it looks like a penis. All right, Rose? Mm. Yeah. And so, that's, I think, the best explanation anybody could ever give you on this. Does that make sense? It's a very in-depth painting, very intellectual painting. I'm going to blow this out of the ballpark like I do with all of my work, right? You just got to keep on going. You have to keep painting. You have to feel how badass you are daily. This is how we survive in this God-forsaken craft we like to call oil painting. Okay? Does that answer your question? Interesting name of a building. Type in penis building Winston-Salem and see what comes up. You ever walked into a room at the wrong time? That's the penis building. So you're going to paint that building off stream then? It's already painted in there, right there, but I am going to continue to paint it in grave detail on stream, live, for everybody to see. Does that answer your question? Sorry,
Did you get paint on me?
I'm checking. I know, you're good. You're always mad at me.
Yeah.
Why?
The big one.
Okay.
Ow.
Do you want me to move that ball for you? Why do you keep on bringing it over here?
Don't know.
Right? So, this is what I'm doing. We're playing the basic shapes right now. Basic shapes. And correcting the drawing while I'm doing it. I don't want to necessarily detail this stuff yet. I just don't want to do that. That, I'm actually going to make it a little bit darker. Go down a notch with it. And go down a notch. Screw it. Because I'm going to paint over a lot of this anyway. There we go. This part right there. So I'm going to be shifting the values, bring them up, bring them down and such. And this is how we're just I'm going to do this until the painting is complete. But this painting is going to take me some time to do. It's not a easy painting, this one, for me at least, to do. This is going to take a while. And hopefully I won't kill you all with this on stream. Right? I am, I do think to myself sometimes this is a good thing to stream or it's a bad thing to stream. All of it's beneficial, don't get me wrong. It is really all very beneficial, but it's not always the most fun thing to watch, right? At least I don't think so. Maybe y'all don't mind it so much, but just this type of work, when you're always streaming this type of stuff, it can get very redundant, repetitive, what have you. It's like, oh, he's working on that again. And sometimes I'm doing things that might not be picked up on stream, but they're crucial for the actual development of the painting. That also happens. That also happens, right? That also happens. So I have to, I keep these things in mind, but it's work that I have to do. This is my studio work, so it's kind of, and I want to stream my work. I like streaming the work. I really do enjoy this. Sometimes I fear that it's not as entertaining. So I'll try to switch it up, but this is a painting, it is a commission, I do have to finish this. I need to make sure everything's going straight up and down too. And in doing so, you want to make sure your board is going up and down too. Beats watching a bar drawing. One day, you know what, Cloud Art, one day you're going to be the poster boy for bar drawings. You'll be pushing it like no other, saying, at one point, I too disliked bar drawings. But now look at me. I'm badass, and it's all thanks to Lewis and his bar drawings that he pushed upon me. He forced me into doing. Good. I'm glad you find it relaxing. That's good. It's very good. Look how great I did those windows and the doors just now. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely amazing, if I may say so myself. So I'm doing. It's funny what the building colors right now are actually based off of flesh tones because this is a normal flesh tone, that's a normal flesh tone, but I'm bringing the Indian red and then yellow ochre, which that's simply a mixture of the two. That's the orange that I mixed. That's what I'm bringing into the work. So I'm mixing with my brush here because, to be honest with you, I need these colors more than I do flesh tones. So what the hell am I doing? Screw it. I've done it. It's working. I'm going to continue doing this. It's not really holding me up anymore. Value, basic color. And when you're putting your brush down, that is when the drawing comes into play. Oh, man. Here we go. Comes up. So right now, too, I'm keeping it thin. I'm really pressing it and dragging it right now because I don't necessarily want it thick yet. I'll build that thickness up. I'll build it up. Good Quover. Yeah, and we'll come across the problems, stuff. We'll come across the problems. I'll try not to flounder with this one. I'll try to be as direct as I can and to keep on a steady track with it, right? But, every once in a while I get held up or something. And try not to run out of steam on stream. So right now I'm thinking about the drawing, and then the top piece I'm going to go at the top of the wall. I'm going a little bit darker. I'm going to try to maintain the color in it, and we're going to kind of just fade it down just a little bit. Something like that. We don't need to work all day on it, but I just want to get the solid, the right impression, right? This is going at this angle here. And we need to make sure, more or less, that it's in line with this, which I did spend, and y'all saw this, in the beginning of the stream, the effort that I put into the charcoal drawing, right? That's why I spent, what did I do, 2-3 days or something with the charcoal drawing. I didn't go into the painting, even though I probably could have done it on the second day. Probably even the first day I could have gone into it, though that side wasn't really complete. But I could have done that, but I opted not to for this very reason, that it's easier to get the drawing in charcoal than it is in paint. In paint, you have to worry about a few more elements. Charcoal is a little bit more straightforward. This drawing in here, I kind of lost because I messed up. Yesterday when I started applying the paint, and so I'll have to get that back, which might be a little tricky, but I think I can do it. Okay, so I see this piece actually coming over some. So tomorrow, though, what I want to stream is the Zerks painting I was working on. It's Friday, and I just want to relax and have a little fun and get my head out of the seriousness of everything. And as nerdy as it is, and I will be the first to admit, it is incredibly nerdy, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's how I unwind, and I am going to do just a fun stream with it tomorrow. So I don't know how educational it's going to be, but so that's a heads up. It's a heads up. And you know what's going to help? Let me put this area in too, and that's going to help us to see this better. Because what's happening is So it fades out here, right? We're establishing a value range, but it's a very wide span of a value range, right? It's going to get more contrasting, colorful up here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this tree in and finish the building and kind of put some, fill in the patches up here, at least the underpainting of what I think I'm going to do. And then I'm not going to worry about it looking totally, it's not going to be totally finished, obviously. Let's just go ahead, I'm going to put the tree in, like the blocking of the tree. And I'm thinking again, I'm trying to set this up for success down the road, whether it's dried some or not, right? Whether it's dried some or not. That's what I want to do. And the shape of the tree and all this stuff I can change. That's okay. I can change this stuff, right? But I'm thinking about it. But I do want to get it in the ballpark, right? I might not put these little branches coming up here yet, for example. I'm getting this in the ballpark of everything, right? And I'm keeping it thin. So we're just getting the basic impression. So you think of this like in a drawing, whether it's a bar drawing or if it's a portrait drawing, whatever drawing it is, how we always say like keep it very basic and stuff. It's the same concept, but we're doing it in paint. So we're doing these big shapes. Establishing paint, the value range, keying it up properly, right? It's what we're trying to do. It's what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to be going back and forth with some color here, and I am thinning it out just enough to spread on the board, right? I'm just going to be putting some color down here and there. I see I have some up top. I don't mind that. Y'all can see that good. Rose is growling over here. You doing okay?
No.
She's not. Do you need some help?
It's gonna be big help. So if you're streaming, I'd have to wait till you're done streaming.
Okay. Do you want to at least tell me what it is, and I might be able to give...
I'm changing the position of her body.
Changing the position of the body. I gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. And so this... What Rose is doing is a nice painting of Attila the Hun playing the bagpipes, if I've listened to her correctly, which I always do. Anyway, it's a small painting, and she needs to change the positioning of the figure a little bit. This is a small painting, and this would be kind of like she's doing a painting of it, but it's also kind of color study size. So it's not going to be necessarily that much to change, depending. So Val, Rose has become feral.
What does that mean?
You're rabid
Why?
because you're growling in the back. They hear you growling and snarling. Yeah. That is an accurate assessment, Val. You are correct about that. So, going in with alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, right? And this is going to be the dark up here. And I'm actually painting this on relatively thin. I'm going to come down into the color there, but I don't want to get it, or the blue. I don't want to make it too milky. Okay. It's okay if it becomes a little bit. Like I said. I'm gonna wait for this kind of to dry up, and then I can go over the top, but at least we have a base. I'm gonna do a little bit more variation than I have it there. Go in with a little bit of light color here and there. Just pressing it in. You want variation, you don't just want it all the same value underneath, right? Don't just want that. That was a little bit lazy what I did. That's okay, we can fix all this stuff. So I'm just going through, putting the under painting down. And I can still go darker if I want. I can still go lighter if I want.
Stupid.
What are you doing?
To use my eyeballs. I need you to take a picture of me when you're done.
Here we go. We've actually been through this before. Alright, so the main thing to do is to squint down, see if you got the impression. If you lost it, that's okay. you just simply have to learn how to unify colors. And here's the thing. A lot of the paintings that you see that look like they were really quickly painted, right? The brush strokes and all this stuff. They're very wispy or whatever. It's not necessarily that they were quickly painted. Sometimes they really took their time, but the way they laid the paint down and dragged it across makes it look effortless. But that's the top painting. Oftentimes they were worked up quite a bit. So it's very important to know how to take your time when you work with this stuff, and to be patient with yourself, to really keep on, like, know when to go back into it and such. Like I said, everything here is very thin, so it's going to help it to dry a little bit quicker, and it's going to be an easier surface for me to paint over, right? This right here, how do you go into this? I'm actually taking the green, pressing it in, and then I'm going to pull it. And that's how you kind of push the red paint away and keep a green stroke. Because green's the opposite of red, and those can gray out very easily. So you need, there's a little technique for you people to try if you have trouble. And again, I'll use that here. I'm going to press it in. I'm pushing, and then I'm going to pull. I'm going to get to the other side that was clean, do the same thing, and then pull. And there you go. That was a little darker color that I had put on it. Rose right here, if you see her, which fortunately, let's see if you do. No, you don't. She's pushing her boobs out like this and posing in a very weird and disturbing way, and I'm glad you don't see that. Kind of freaking me out, but I'm used to it. We're good. All right. Okay. Val's in the background like, did somebody say boobs? Like I said, I'm doing a combination. Yeah, exactly. I'm doing a combination of the greens and the reds with this, so it's not necessarily. It's not going to be like totally real, but I'm trying to just get the impression here. That's what we're going for. Trying to go for the color, right? Interesting color. And then we work on the edges and such, and really get the. We'll work on the drawing. And I'm making the edges very smooth, right? It's kind of like you're looking at things underwater, because then you can start carving out the shapes as you want them, which is quite nice to do. Sometimes I'll look up here, I'm trying to understand what the hell is going on. It's not the best reference, but it's what I have to work with. There we go. Just do this, we'll keep this down here. Does that make sense? No. It's going to be a little bit more warm. All right, Hammy, we'll see ya. Thanks for being here. You take care. You be good. This right here, this is where the tree line was. Okay. That's that, and then we'll put that. Okay. Let's go in. Running out the greens that I want to use. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of this red, I'm actually going to bring it down into this just a little bit. Taking some of the red and bring it down here. And it's going to mix with the green some, but that's kind of what I want for this part right here. There you go. So again, we're setting up for the impression later on. I'm using the other side of the brush that I know is clean with the green, and I'm going to smear with my hand the painting right there, which I definitely meant to do. Just clean it up. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. So that's how we do it. Now I'm going to come back up with the side of the house, and then we're going to go and sculpt the window out of it as well. If I can figure out which brush to use. I think it's this one. this works, this works. I'm just, again, just squinting down, not worrying about all the, the building and such in it, but this is one thing we can do here, is when I'm squinting down, I kind of do like the drawing, how it kind of comes up here. So again, I'm using the technique where I'm kind of pressing in and pushing the paint up some. As you can see, it kind of grayed out just a little bit. That's okay, we can still work with that. I'm going to soften this edge because I want it soft. And then I'm going to come back to my palette. And if you ever get muddy or gray on the painting, two things. Number one, make sure the paint isn't too thick to paint on top of. So that's pretty thin. Number two, constantly go back with your brush to the palette. Because what's happening is that your color is being desaturated by the lights and darks mixing and forming a mid-tone that has less color than it should have. The mid-tones have more color than lights and darks do, right? For example, get some white, add a little bit of orange, and you're going to see a huge difference. But if you get a mid-tone and add just that little bit of orange, you're not going to see that much of a difference. You need to add more orange for it to be affected. It has more pigment in it from colors. So you need to match that when you go back. You go back through, get the right value, and then we come in right here with the color. So I kept the value, and now I just added color so it's not grayed out anymore. And then I'm going to squint down, I'm going to work it up here. And this area right here might get a little grayed out because I'm blending it. But the way to do that, obviously, is to mix a separate value between these two, add the color you want, and then paint it over properly. So that's how you do it. But this suffices for what we want. That's ballpark drawing, and I can change it. So this is pretty smooth for the most part. And you can kind of go back and forth with it here if you want, right? I'm going in with my brush, the other brush here. I'm just for the leaves, the trees, and I'm going to come up here very thinly, just scrub that in. There we go. And so again, so we can get the effect that we want here. So that's kind of going to be the under part of everything, and I'll obviously, I'm going to shape it. It's going to look very three-dimensional, but that's kind of how I go about building up the under part of it. And the cool thing is too, if I step back and you guys just squint down at your phones, your computers, or whatever, and you just look at the one area I paint, you can ask yourself if there's a sense of light, and there isn't. Not yet. When I stepped back there, I thought I would be like, yeah, you see the sense of light? And there's no sense of light. It's okay. See, it's not done. You have to be patient. You got to keep working on it. So what I'm going to do, a major part of this, if you look at the actual picture, the reference photo that I have, see, I'm painting this top part, but this affects how we see that. I've been keying off of the dark and this light area right here and going between and trying to relate these values to one another. The drawing's okay, but it could be better. So this is what I should be doing. What I'm going to do right now is start painting in parts of the street. So that's what I'm going to do. Where's the... So to do that, Rose, why is this ball always here? Every time I look. Dummy, you hit that thing. I'm going to turn around. It's going to be right back here. Like, I'll go to get a paper towel. I'll trip over it next time. It'll be probably within like 30 seconds or something. Right. Oil painting. If you know how to work it, it can be your best friend. If you believe in friends, which I don't. Okay. So we're going to work on the street now. This part of the sidewalk here. Obviously, we don't make mistakes here. I'm definitely not going to mess this up. Going with the flat synthetic. Boom. All right. A little bit of walnut oil, just a touch. And I have these colors mixed. This is ultramarine blue, yellow ochre, and Indian red with a touch of black. This is ultramarine blue, Indian red, yellow ochre, and a touch of white, and then the same thing with more white. And then what I'm going to do too, let me just take a little bit of white from up top. This is Kremnitz white, lead white, because I like to poison myself when I paint. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to take a little bit of alizarin crimson to purple it out just a little bit. All right, it's going to make a little bit of a purpley tone. Hopefully I'm keeping it a little bit darker than I should be, which is, see, you can't really tell, but you can tell a little bit. Anyway, okay, so that's it. I'm going to actually go a little bit darker so that I can still bring the lights up from it and create a, like, kind of push the value range just a little bit more. So I'm mixing in between these two colors. You get the light or dark value first, and then we go in and we try to get the color. But and I like pushing the color. I like exaggerating it slightly. And then I'm going to get a touch of walnut oil, especially when you first get a new brush. You'll find, you know, you kind of have to load the paint with brush first, right? You got to have, but once you get the brush with paint, it's easier to work on it, you know, subsequent strokes, right? But at first, I especially in the beginning, I might put a little bit more like oil into it just to make it so it flows a little bit better. All right, there we go. So just putting this on. All right, and now I'm going to go a little bit lighter. I'm going to add a little bit of the alizarin crimson. And here's the thing. It's like doing this and going back takes a little bit of time to do. And if you have to shift it so much, sometimes it's best just to palette knife it into these piles. But I don't think I need to do that. And plus, I want to have some variation with color. I don't just want it all one color like all the morons do, right? I just want it one color. So there we go. I'm just going to work this one area and try to key off the best that I can. Trying to keep it relatively simple. Now up here it's going to be a little bit greener, and when we squint it's going to be slightly lighter. So essentially almost this color that I've mixed, just to have it straight mixed right there, and that's not green enough, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of the pre-mixed green that I have, but also maybe a touch of yellow, okay, yellow. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I can tell the difference because I'm so smart. And we're going to squint down, and when we go up to the brush, that's when the drawing comes into play, right? This is slightly darker than it is, which is good. I'm compressing the values. There's more values, this larger range of values in life than there is in painting, right? So you compress them, and we can bring them up or bring them down, depending on this effect we want. It gives us a little bit of a leverage in respect to the light effect that we want to create with the painting. See, the other thing is I don't necessarily want to paint this like I'm painting. Oh, it looks photographic. Look how, you know, I don't want it looking. I want it to be something artistic, badass that I've done, right? So, you know, I'll also have to take that into account. Let's put this back here. This drops down. So we're thinking, look, a lot of this stuff is the drawing. The technique I'm going to apply over the top, but I'm also thinking how I want to apply over the top and what surface is going to be easiest to work with. So that's what I mean by setting the table. We're preparing for that technique the best that we can. Always I'll look back in retrospect and say, oh, I should have done it this way. I should have done it that way. And that's where just experience comes in, right? This is stupid. But I did it. So you get experience with this. I can't tell what the hell's going on. I'm just going to bring this over. Let's do this. Because what's happening here, I'm just going to fill this in. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Judge Judy. You know Judge Judy? She prefers Judge Judith, by the way. All right, so here's one mistake I almost made. Wait, but I actually didn't make it. This line is not going straight across, it's kind of going up like that. It goes there, and then it comes this way. This. And then there's some green there, which I'll put in later. But this is good, this is coming along. And then let's bring this out. So really what's going on here is there's going to be a lot of this actually comes up in value quite a bit. I might actually bring it up some right now. It's a little bit more, but here's the other thing that I want to do. I do kind of want to experiment with a puddle, and I admit that would probably be better to do in a color study, but I really don't want to do a color study for this. Just don't. I know, right? She said famous last words. She's correct. Famous. Nah, I don't want to do a color study. Color studies will save you a lot of time and trouble, and I should know this better than anybody. Okay. I am mixing ivory black, Indian red, ultramarine blue, and a little bit of yellow ochre. Darker side to get a colorful dark that I'm going to expertly place on here and definitely not mess up. Divide the sidewalk from the road. It's a big brush. And if you kind of lean your body into it like this, look at that. It's one line, bitch. It's pretty sweet. And just like that, I put Bob Ross to shame and made the entire sidewalk pop easily. Very easily.
This composition is fucked.
No, it's not. That actually looks better than you think. I think you've been looking
No,
at.
like it literally I'm changing the whole thing because of one tiny thing that still isn't gonna work.
Why? Well, what the hell's the matter with you? Why are you doing that?
I need her to play the organ, but the position of her hand with the position of the organ isn't gonna match unless she or the organ moves.
Wait a second. That's not true.
Yes.
You're saying that the position of her hand, which is right here, Rose, all you need to do, look, if it's like this, you just need to do this. You don't need to do this. You can still make it work.
It's gonna look retarded. I just need help.
I'll help you. I'll help you. Here, let me help Rose. Let me help Rose. No, it's fine. You sure? Don't scrub it down. You're gonna lose all that work.
I'm gonna scrub some of it.
Rose,
Some of it's clumped up.
okay. Just don't do anything stupid. Even for you, okay? There we go. Now I'm going back into the drawing here, and we're going to work this up. Just actually, let's see how this looks over here. This might actually. This is okay. I just need to bring it down some and purple it out just a little bit. I say purple it out. I'm adding a little bit of alizarin crimson, but I do want it to have some variation. In the photo, I put these leaves on the road, but I'm not sure that that really works. But it might look better if they're kind of on the side. It's something I can kind of add into it later. I don't know. If y'all have suggestions, let me know, because a lot of this is being made up. I think one of the things about painting that I like is that if you think about it like it's clay and you can move it around on the canvas, that really helps. It's not like permanent marker where you put it down and then that's where it's going to be. You can move this around and shape it. And that's a very important technique that I like to use to advance my work. All right, now most of this, for example, like, I'm saying that because that's how I move it around to correct the drawing. I'm trying to correct everything, correct the drawing, right? Set the table for all these things. Now, the drawing is a reflection of your ability to see proportions and shapes, put everything together, and that's brought about by experience. And like I said, I say do as many drawings as you can and learn the basics and the fundamentals behind it, which is why I enjoy starting with drawings oftentimes for streams. It's not just that it warms me up, right? Correcting the direction of this. It was kind of slanted. So it warms me up, but it also it gets you in practice and it reminds you of everything. Just you want to play the long game with your art. You don't just want to make little compromises to get something done, and then ultimately you're worse because of it. You want to set yourself up for success later on too. I'm wondering, shouldn't the trees get smaller as they recede into the distance? These, yeah, they should. They definitely should. Yeah. So the tree line comes up a little bit higher, it goes down, and I'm also going to be cutting in some. And this tree, what happened was I had it too far over this way. I brought it this way, and I still need to shape it and stuff. So I'm just trying to place these trees here, and this one's going to get wider too. So like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And this is what I'm talking about, like getting the drawing right now at this stage. Even though like I want this one wider. This one, technically, it might get smaller, but I'm going to bring it in from this side. So like I said, I lost some of the drawing here, and I'm uncertain as to what's happening here. And so again, this is the understanding that we're talking about, right? You got to understand what the hell you're looking at. It's not just enough just to make a pretty technique and put it down or whatever. That's why I'm not committing by really thickly painting anything down first. I'm waiting until it is locked in. It needs to be locked in. See, like the values in the roof can come up more, right? But I'm not making it as light as I can yet. I think, Qualdar, that's a good question too. That's a very good question. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It should be like thinner. I can correct that right now. It'd probably benefit me too. I need to understand what's going on back here with this stuff. Right? Technically, this is coming in just a little bit more than it is. Like it's actually, if I'm going off the photograph, it's in here a little bit more. Something like that. I'm also trying to work this composition and make sure that everything makes sense. That's the other thing. I brought this tree over here some because I'm trying to, I'm still correcting the drawing. That's the other thing. I'm still trying to correct the drawing. Is that the right brush? Yep. I'll bring that out though because I still want it a little bit wider. Excuse me, sorry. It's been a long week. Very long week. There This would be over here, some like that, I think. It'd be down, and then it'd be about this wide right here. There we go. Hello, Kimo. What's happening, buddy? You doing all right, man? What's up? Where are you up to? Hello, Kimo. Right. Comes up. That comes. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. So this is going to be an interesting, questionable move, actually. Ooh, climbing gym, nice. And how'd that art class go? And how'd the climbing go too? Tell me both, man. Climbing's awesome. I'm gonna bring this over a little bit. I'm gonna bring this over here, and then this is gonna be. This is gonna like. Wait a second. I'm messing this up. This is coming up. This. Okay, I need to reassess something here. This is here. I need to get this right now. This goes up this way, goes up here. This should drop. This drops. This drops. Okay, I think. You okay? Having a hard time. I climb all day, day. Yeah, Val does. He's a line worker, and then he has after hours as a pole dancer. Art class was our first oil painting session, so I wasn't very comfortable. I'm used to paint without pressure and someone looking how I get to the result. So it's making you nervous, yeah. I remember when I first started streaming, I was a little bit nervous, which I had never been nervous about painting before, but it left me quick. But I remembered like it was crazy thinking somebody's watching actually like your hand and everything like so close. That I had never done. I'm used to having people watch me paint. But I always assume they're staring at my ass and not my painting. So I guess I never thought about it. But since it was like my hand and the painting and all this stuff, it kind of got to my head. So anyway, I just fixed the drawing there. Or did I? I don't know. Okay, this is what I'm talking about here. This is coming up. You see that? You see this right here? We need to get these small little details that most idiots leave out, but I don't because I'm not an idiot. This is what we strive for. It is going out that angle. So it is there, and then this shape. Well, then why the hell did I bring that over so far? I didn't need to. So this comes back over some. Here, pull that paint off. It's a little bit weird what's happening. Feels like I shouldn't make, it feels like I shouldn't make any mistake, but I paint at home, I just let the brush go. Right. Yeah. Painting is a mind game, but it's all about practice, experience, but practicing the right way is so important. So important. OMG. Okay, wait. See, this is what I'm talking about. I lost the drawing here. I need to get the drawing back. Give me a second. So I'm going to work on the roof with this. So if this roof is here, it's dropping. This drops more than I had it. That's there. Well, then what the hell's happening here? Then this tree needs to go over. Oh my gosh. This somehow is over here. This somehow is over here. That's it. And then you have this little space here. There's this piece here. The roof comes up this way. I think that's it. Except this drops just a little bit more than I have it. There, and this probably comes over just a little bit. So this, we're redrawing. We're redrawing this bitch. I don't care about dirtying my colors. I usually start with a gray mess and start adding dark and light from that, which is kind of the opposite many people advise. It helps to growl like an animal when they're looking at you. Quilter might be making a reference at for you. Here's what we're going to do. Y'all give me about 3 minutes or so. I'm still going to be talking, but I'm going to help you out with your things because you need some help. And Rose, first off, let me say this. Oftentimes I'll ask her to look and see what's wrong with mine. And simply this is that I have a fresh eye because I'm not going to show you all the work because I don't know if she wants me to, but I'll turn the camera so you guys can see. So it's at least a little bit entertaining, and I'll expand it out some because she's very entertaining. We all know this. She's a creature of... very strange creature. I've been studying for many years. We're gonna help it out some here. Here we go. So, as you can tell, this is the look of a painter, a true painter. We are, in fact, going to help her. And let me... What is this? Is this the painting? That's the painting, okay. And let's upright that. Okay, so this is fine. Okay.
Okay, so this is the only way to me it makes sense that the organ is placed in that position. The problem is she's so bunched up next to it that there's not enough room for her arm to extend so that it can be that far back without her looking like a T-Rex. But I don't want to move her.
You don't need to. Arms are very flexible. Look at this, Rose.
Yeah, but she's gonna look like a T-Rex.
No, she's not looking like a T-Rex.
I feel like this has more movement to it too. This just looks stiff.
You know what you've done? You came in here hunched over today, like
I'm always hunched over.
the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay? And you painted that in.
Painted what in?
Why did you do that?
Do what?
You brought the shoulder up.
Yeah, because look. Look. There's an obvious dramatic movement of the shoulders.
Okay, let me show you something.
Before I had it
This is how you have it there. This is normal. Don't do that. You got to
What?
drop the shoulder down some. This I'm telling you, this is too high.
But look
Look
at
at
it
that
in
neck.
relation to the other shoulder.
Yeah. Then why don't you?
She's hunched a little because she's looking up.
You can still look up like this. You don't need a hunch to look up.
But she's like,
Like look, is that how you
Look.
want where her butt's out some?
I just want her to have more movement because before she was just like,
I didn't think so. I thought it looked really good.
I like a little bit of
Of that, okay. All right. Okay.
pushing forward.
Okay. All right.
A little bit more drama.
Let me think if we could do that.
Just something like this.
Yeah.
Like how I sketched it out.
I see. Give me a sec. To be honest with you, look at her. What? What about it? Son of a bitch. Please run camera hub to use Elgato camera. No shit. What do you think this is? Why?
What?
I know, that doesn't make sense, does it?
What's going on?
I don't know. You know what this is like? It's like that scene in Spaceballs where they turn the actual movie off. I honestly am so pissed off at this stupid ass camera right now. If this doesn't work. Damn right it works. Wait, that didn't work. This is the wrong camera. One second, we're gonna get this.
How many cameras do you have going right now?
2. Close. Why in the hell? Dude, this thing is so annoying.
Unplug it, plug it back in again.
I'll try that. But I think it's going to mess it up.
It's already messed up.
Yeah, you're right. It is already messed up. Now it's doing this thing. Now it's saying it's not connected to it. Fuck this device. You know what? I'm so sick of this. I am so tired of this camera. It has literally cost me so much of my time trying to figure this out. All right, come over here. I'm not going to waste my time with that anymore. If that's not going to work,
I'm gonna go back to streaming.
no, it's fine. Look at this. Cover this up right here, okay? You're not that far off. It's just that this, do you see that? That's what's doing it.
Yeah, but she also needs to move over to get more room for the arm.
Give me a second. Let me do some drawing, okay? I'm not going to draw on this. But so here's the thing. If we're looking at this, the perspective here is wrong. This is too much for the side. You can actually bring this and have this facing us more here and bring this part over some, which is going to be good design. Do you see that? And then you can bring the arm out like this. And it's not that she has to be dead center in it anyway, right? It doesn't need to, on the keyboard, she doesn't need to be here. She could be over here. But if you take, like, if you have this piece coming down like this, do you see this?
Yeah, hold
Okay.
on. Just need to visualize it. So you said bring this out
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like
Yeah. There's
that?
like that, but more so like this. Look at this. If the side's coming here, it kind of comes like that. It doesn't need to be going out like that because that's like you're looking at it from the side here. We're looking at it from right here. So this part, the perspective is going to be coming out. This part is not going to be going out at the same angle as that. this part's going to be coming out a little bit more down like that, right? The perspective is, at least. Get this in so we can squint. Do you see what I'm saying? Cover that part up. That looks okay. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It looks okay. And you can bring it over some too if you want. Like just a little bit, like something like that. That looks good now. And if you want this part, what's happening here, you want her kind of leaning into it. Well, that means...
Or even leaning away from it. Like, look how this is designed. I like this. I like the movement here.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So what you can do is, what you're seeing here, what you like is this piece really right here is what does it. And then, but this part really is going too high up, so you want this movement's going this way, but this is countering that by going up. If you drop that down, and you could experiment with bringing it over, but essentially what's happening is you need to think of where her hips are going to be. If this is her breast right here, going down into her hips, the side of her hip is here, and then it's going to start here, so that's why that drops. So you get her hip here, her butt's going to be back here, and you could slightly, make a mark or whatever. I'll just mark it, okay, just very lightly. It's very easy to fix, okay? It's coming down like that. This is coming down here, her butt. That's going to be dropping, right? So this part's coming down this way, and then her hip or something is like about that high or something like that.
Which hip?
Her left hip, the hip on her right, like her hip right here, and her thigh right here would be about right here, and this would cut off, and this would come down just a little bit. Do you see that? Do you want me to lightly block it in for you so you can see it? Okay. Look, you got this. This is the figure drawing stuff. Here. Squint down. I'm going to incrementally bring it down just a little bit. Just a little. See this one? Just a little bit. And what we can do, then we have this piece right here, right? And this part's kind of coming down like this, a little bit more than this. And then this is darkness right here. That's darkness. Okay. Do you see what we're doing? So now she's kind of leaning, and this might...
Is that one leg or two?
Well...
Where's like the center of her lap, where the legs connect?
Kind of coming around here, and then she'd have another leg like this, and then you might have the cloth kind of flowing down like that.
Okay.
Do you see? Here, I'll lightly sketch it in. It's very easy for you to take it out. I'm going to go with a lighter brush. Guys, I'll be right back with this. This is, this is the stuff we do in the studio. So, like I said, studio work. It's kind of coming down this lip. I'm sorry, not the lip, the hip. It's a little bit too dark. You got it? Okay. Whoops. The upper body? Oh, and if this is like, you could always bring this up and over that way some, because this might be a little bit long.
Yeah.
But you see that. I might have brought it down too far, but the upper body, to me,
Like
looks...
this fucking... It still doesn't work.
This?
Yeah.
Go through, if you like this position. It's 2, 3. All you have to do is drop that hand. Right? That's what you have there, isn't it? Look at this. Look. That's what you have. This piece is coming down this way. This is coming up. This part here. This drops here. This is down here. This is, oh my gosh. I'm putting this thing on silent. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? Like this comes down.
You're losing viewers. You need to go.
It's okay. is okay with me. So here, but this is not going to be as high as you have it, and it's going to help. That helps a lot too, because that's stopping your progress right there. This, I would still. I mean, I think this is beautiful. And okay, so here's with this piece. You could bring it over just a little bit more like that, right?
The red.
Yeah, because what you're trying to do is make it this light effect coming down this way. Like that. This is looking good. This is looking good. Coming down to here, this looks good. This comes up like that. This drops down. We drop this down a little bit more than we have it. This might drop a little bit, but this is pretty good. This is pretty good. This would drop down some, right? You just like, those are the things. It's like this dropping down will create more, and you know, if this needs to come up, it can. This part right here, what you like, kind of is coming across like that, you know, or whatever, but I would find a setup where it kind of like drops down like that, or it could fade into it, right? And this part might not be as far back. It makes more sense to be about right there. Now, you see that? I think that's very beautiful. I think it's a beautiful position. You've done a very good job. You got it. You're doing good. This is good. It's all good.
Oh my gosh, I hate it.
Rose,
Sorry.
you can do it. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry we lost the main camera, but you know, this thing is just bugging out recently, and I just don't know why. It's very frustrating for me. Building on the right is casting a shadow on the road. This one? Casting a shadow out that way? Be cool to do. Yeah, you can see that. That'd be pretty cool to do, actually. Let's see. Change this music. Something actually a little bit better, guys. What do we got? What do we got? Let's go to this. Let me find something a little bit different, perhaps. See if we like this. This is Irish. There we go. You like this, Rose? There we go. All right, guys. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Everything's set up here. There we go. All right, so we're back. Sorry about that. We need to, So, I mean, one of the things with painting is really trying to stay on track, and it's problem solving, right? It's very challenging. Okay, I see what needs to change. Sometimes, again, also I didn't just want to give the critique to help Rose out. It's also important for me to keep a fresh eye. I need to keep a fresh eye with this. And sometimes I'm working on it so long that just, I don't see everything that needs to happen when I should be seeing more. So. There we go. And then there's actually another house like right here. So maybe that does come over just a little bit. All right, so I think today what I want to do, I want to try to solve this problem that I had yesterday and figure out the drawing that I lost. Maybe, I don't know if I ever really had it though. Correct. So we're just going to paint these basic shapes in. Here, and then this is coming up. That, and then let's see if the perspective is right. This is wrong. This is wrong. This definitely is. Okay, that. It's nice music, huh? You like it? Yeah. It's from your people. Rose is Irish. This I'm actually going to intentionally gray out because the roof is gray. So I'm going to use this to kind of... There we go. Got that. But that house still does not look accurate. I think the sidewalk needs to come up a little bit more than it is. Yeah, this needs to come up some. Press this up just a little bit. And then there's this, and then there's this piece. This is here, this is here. And this house is right here. And it's kind of going straight up across. The house is here. Pressing in, pulling down. What the hell is going on over that way? I can't see it. This is the problem. I can't see what's going on over there. What's that? House. Okay. And that is a house. And then the roof. It's coming up at an angle. This. And this is coming up at that which we have, and then the roof kind of drops. So that's a roof right there. Okay, I need to put, I don't want to necessarily make this too dark, but I might darken it just to mark it just a little bit. Just to mark it, just to make it pop so I know exactly what I'm looking at here. Just a little bit. There we go. And here, but I feel like this is too big still. And it seems like I have everything going over too much like that. I might need to, probably because of the angle in which I'm standing. So go back through and correct some of this stuff. I'm gonna look straight on. I might be blocking some of this. I apologize. I just need to, in an effort not to block the camera, sometimes I'm drawing at an angle and it's affecting the drawing for me. Just there we go. All right. Trying to get the impression, get the perspective right. That's what I'm aiming for this. It's the roof. Rose, that's better than you think. It is. I think the technique just needs to be it just needs to get cleaned up a little bit. I don't think it's as far off as you think it is at all. Okay. I feel a little bit better about that. A little bit. Let's do this. Soften some of these colors. Fill in places which I think need to be filled in just a little bit more. Here we go. The crazier side of your people. Alright. Let's get one more brush for a little bit lighter values at the top, but we're still going to go down in value a little bit. In other words, get a little bit darker. Just a little bit. All right, let's see. This is how we freaking build up the houses. Everything else, road. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. Don't know. It's a large open space right here that I have, and maybe I can get away with it. But don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. It's not gonna be so dark, but I'll bring it down. You okay? All good? Yeah. You don't want to do a hand. No. Oh.
Especially a tiny hand.
What was it that you said? You're
Huh?
fat women with tiny hands.
I want to be a fat person with small hands.
She's one of the Rose said she doesn't want to be a fat person with tiny hands. All right. Piece here. This is the wrong color. I'm just kind of marking it now. All right. There's a little stepping block there. Squint. All right. I don't know. See, I need to watch how Mark paints, to be honest with you. His work is just beautiful. His work is beautiful. It really is. Just smooth this out some. I've been studying his work. I'm painting this how I think I can still build it up. Right? It's, like I said, keeping it thin. Keeping it thin, but there's obviously a lot of work I have to get done on this. His paintings are always deceptively complex. So you can start, you start carving out and putting in all the detail that everybody likes and stuff later on, but this is essentially a basic block in. It's going to look nice once we put in the planks going across, the wooden beams rather. It's going to look really freaking good if we can get the drawing correct, which we can do it. Alright, it's alright, it's coming along. Like I said, this is not something I'm used to doing as a cityscape. I'm used to doing the portraits and stuff with flesh. Not so much this. Sorry, the camera keeps on going out. This thing in this sector, this quadrant. I wish I had an answer. I don't know why it keeps on going out all of a sudden. Don't know why. It just bugs out. Just keeps on bugging out.
I think that hand's too far out.
Which one? Too far out?
Yeah, everything needs to come down.
Yeah, I do. I think like in the drawing, you'd have it lower, right? A little bit, maybe. But I would not match it with the keys. I would bring the keys to it. Does that make sense? I would move the keys up or down.
Well, see, there's 2 levels of keys. There's the lower level and the upper level. She's
Okay.
playing on the upper level.
Good, okay.
So it's kind of hard to.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But you think it would look better if it was down the wrist?
No. I don't think so. I think you can make it work. That's a beautiful hand position that you have right there. It is. Yeah. I mean, it's always nice seeing the wrist kind of drop down like that, but this is nice too, coming up, right?
It's a little bit.
Honestly, like, what I would do if I were you, if you really want this to be good, you get a model in and you paint
It's not
from the
gonna
model.
happen.
Why?
Because we don't have an organ, number 1. Number 2, can't afford one. Number 3, don't know who I would ask.
Ask Sarah.
I don't want Sarah to do it.
You and she were buddies.
Huh?
You and she are buddies.
Doesn't mean I wanted a model for Scenes of Sue.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't need to do the face, but I mean, she can do the, or get Cat. I don't care.
Yeah,
Yep.
don't want to pay a model right now. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. All right. Guys, I think right now I am going to call it. I've been going for some time. I'm going to take a break with this. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to try to stream tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit different stream. It's going to be a little bit different stream. But thank you so much for being here, and I really do appreciate it. And again, my apologies for this camera continuously going out, the one over here. But yeah. All right. I will see you guys. Y'all take care.